Welcome to the Darkstream, VoxDay, voxday.blogspot.com, and of course, Unauthorized TV. Welcome to the Reprehensibles, to the VFM, to the Evil Legion, the Dread Ilk, and hello again to the Bears. I expect a fair number of you were probably on Owen's stream earlier. We were just kind of kicking back and discussing the latest. You'll have to forgive me if I'm a little tired here. I need to zoom this in. The good thing my office is clean, huh? Anyhow, been busy. I was on Alex Jones earlier today. And I was also obviously talking with Owen. And one thing that you wouldn't know is that I had a meeting with the folks who are providing the technical side of Unauthorized. And it went really well. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit about what we're going to do. And so what we're looking at doing is they have a regular product cycle. And that means that every 3 months we will have new features and new improvements. What's significant and what I'm most pleased about is that it looks like they will have the audio only feature as well as the speed variable feature. It's not going to be as fine-tuned as some people wanted. It's going to be in the what do you call it? Every 0.5, I think, something like that, 0.5. But you'll be able to play my streams faster, which I think is what some folks are looking for here. And then we're also going to have a solid streaming feature. They've got beta streams. It didn't work when I tried it on Saturday, but I didn't follow the directions precisely. I was trying it with a different streaming software. So it looks like they will have a full-fledged streaming facility complete with chat. Unfortunately, they don't have Super Chat, not yet. So they probably won't have Super Chat until August 1st. But they're very interested in it. And so I'm pretty sure that it's something that they're definitely going to want to have. So if you have other ideas for features, if you're a subscriber at unauthorized.tv, I would encourage you to check it out. Freedom Roar says, "Brother, we are here to the end, no matter what." No, I appreciate that. I really do. I mean, they were blown away, just so you understand. They were blown away by how big our launch has been. There is going to be an app for Unauthorized. There's going to be apps for iOS, for Android, and also there's going to be channels on some of the services like Netflix and so forth. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. Can Alex Jones be on Alex? There's no reason for Alex to be on Unauthorized. Alex is going to, he's got his own network. There's no reason for him to be on that. Also, we're looking for, Alex is his own guy. He's got his own network. That's what InfoWars is. So there's no reason for InfoWars to do it. It will not have comments we're talking about having chat. I just said there will be a live streaming component and there will be chat. So, we'll look and see what makes sense. I mean, the first thing to do is just to nail down our comment. We're not going to, will it be free to watch? It is free to watch. I mean, you can go there now and watch whatever you want, except, the premium content you need to subscribe for, you need to pay for. But I mean, it says right on the front, it says, hours of free content every day, hours of new. I mean, look, hours of free content every single day. The Darkstream, the Owen streams, some of his shorts, they're all going to be there. No, we're not going to link to Alex's stream. Alex has his own stuff. VFM Bear says, SDL, I had an epiphany. Owen has to play Rainbow in the Alt Hero movie. I think we can do something better for Owen. Yeah, we're going to get rid of this guy who is very proud of the fact that he's familiar with homosexual slang. Faith Goldie, yeah, I mean, Faith is somebody who would be on my short list, no question. I like Faith a lot, and we're probably going to be working with her in a number of different ways. So, Crazy Life said, I watched a bunch of Grow or Die, great stuff. Yeah, we're going to have a ton more Grow or Die stuff on there, as well as a fair amount of premium stuff. David is actually doing a gardening live tour right now, if you believe it or not. That's going very well. So he hasn't been getting his content up there yet, but he's going to have a lot more content up there very soon. Also, I spoke with the Barcelona Life people, and they are gearing up to get started as well. That's going to be very popular, I think. It won't surprise me if Barcelona Life ends up being the most popular thing that we have there. I've been a little surprised at how popular the wine stream has been. And so clearly I need to do more of that. I'll be happy to do more of that. Let's see. Robert says, Vox, I work for one of the major processors. We have great tech and APIs. Is there an opportunity to speak with someone about our options? When you say processors, are you talking about payment processors? If so, we'd be more than happy to talk to you. Payment processing is always an issue. But the big problem that we have right now, we think we're in the process of getting it solved. But the biggest problem that we've had is the discomfort with crowdfunding and with subscriptions for things like Unauthorized and Voxiversity. A lot of payment processors are very uncomfortable with the idea that you're not selling a physical object. And so, but yeah, Robert, shoot me an email. Send me put your phone number in it, and I'll give you a call tomorrow or something, if there's a possibility to do that. Thanks, Vox. Topic, who is the Harper Valley PTA? Spoof? SJWs? I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what Harper Valley PTA is. So, Van Kraveled, that would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. Yeah, let's get rid of this guy under his new identity. Gotta love the gammas. But yeah, hey, at least we can appreciate gammas showing gammas what they do. Freedom Reward says, loyalty might be logos. I hold it in high regard. YouTube won't shake me from you or Owen. Believe us. Oh, I believe you. I mean, who's more loyal than the VFM? you know. Hendo337 says, I'm excited to see these first steps towards independent media that is entertaining and educational. That's exactly what we want to do. This has to be trolling. Will there be the Joe Rogan experience? I really love that guy. His opinions are always well informed and he gives both sides of the argument through long form conversations with such as Andrew Yang. There definitely will not be the Joe Rogan experience. When you whine and clock, productive double win. No doubt. Can playing sports transform gammas? Yes. Are the payment processors used by dirty video sites a viable solution to the deplatforming problem? Oh, probably. We haven't had that issue. Again, what's the email? The email is voxday@gmail.com. Easy enough. There's a lot of, it's interesting because I was talking to the tech folks that we've been working with, and they've already had people contacting them saying, oh, you shouldn't work with those guys. They're white supremacists and hate speech and blah, frickin' blah. It's funny because, they know perfectly well it's not true. All you have to do is watch our videos to know what we're doing, what we're talking about. And so, it's going to, there's always going to be pushback, but different people are much less likely to go along with it than the SJW converged platforms. You need to keep in mind that the SJW platforms don't have to make money. So their business experience is not, or their business priorities are not a focus for them. And so it's very important, it's very important to support these things if you want to see more of them, because that's what makes them want to work with us. The fact that, they weren't going to cuck anyhow, but the fact that our first 3 days have been so massively successful, 1/3 of the 1/3 of Owen's YouTube members are already Feed the Bear subscribers at unauthorized.tv. And I would encourage you, if you're a bear who was a member of Owen's YouTube channel, I would definitely encourage you to sign up and become a subscriber for at least for a Feed the Bear subscription, because Owen will get as much as he was getting from YouTube. And, he may not be getting the super chats and stuff yet, but we're going to get there. We're going to solve it. Eric D says, I hope Unauthorized TV has an army of lawyers behind it. It's only a matter of time before big tech takes aim. They're not going to. They've got nothing to aim at. You have to do something wrong, or you have to be in their power in order for that to be a problem. And the other thing that you need to keep in mind that we're protected by is that we are based in Europe. And so, what Europe, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the EU has already fined Google billions of dollars, plural. And it was just reported recently, it was just reported yesterday, in fact, that the EU is about to hit them with another even bigger fine. And so they're not going to interfere with us in any way that is going to allow they're not going to interfere with us in any way that would give the EU a chance to hit them with more fines. Serbian Bear, you don't need to tell me what the EU did. I know what the EU did. I've lived in Europe for decades. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be attacking Jack Posobiec when you're literally on the channel of his editor. We published his 4D Warfare. It's a really good book. Republic Defense Force said, just signed up for a Feed the Bear subscription today. Support Owen. Exactly. Will the EU bankrupt Big Tuck? No, but I think that they will leash it. You know, the days of them playing around and not having to pay taxes, but killing the high streets and that sort of thing are rapidly coming to an end. What about a section where paying members can upload videos of their own to unauthorized TV? No way, no chance in hell. This is not a YouTube competitor. This is the birth of a new channel. Bob Trowntree says, it's been a great day because we've had 4 hours of Vox Live. I'm glad you enjoy it. No, Owen doesn't drink too much. Jeez, it's ridiculous. You have to understand that the idea that Owen drinks too much is something that it's a meme that they're trying to push in order to discredit and disqualify him. Freedom Reward says, for speaking bravely, I would give Owen Frontline what he needs. It's imperatives to supporting elements, which we are. That's correct. Would you be interested in having Sam Hyde on Unauthorized? Not particularly. From what I understand, he hasn't been very good about providing content to his on a regular basis. We're not look, you need to understand, we're not here to rescue trolls. We're not here to act up and make a scene and be obnoxious. Unauthorized is serious. You know, the fact that somebody has been banned somewhere does not mean that they are a natural fit for what we're doing here. Look at the stuff that we're doing. Look at the kind of subjects that Owen takes on, the stuff that I take on, the stuff that David the Good is doing. This is about rebuilding culture, not doing the, oh, I can do and say crazy things. You know, that's not for us. I'm not saying absolutely not. I'm open, but based on what I've heard, I'm not terribly interested. Jason Abrams says, getting sick of these. Can I be on unauthorized TV? No, you can't. It's not YouTube. It's only been 3 days. I'm sure a lot of these folks, don't know. Let's see. Vox, will there be a wine stream in the near future? I think there's going to have to be. I think there will have to be. Gospel Bear says, I've already answered you this, Gospel Bear. In fact, you're actually starting to annoy me to the point that even if you were qualified, I'm not sure we'd want to have you. Okay? He says, so you have to be really popular already and semi-famous in order to be authorized on unauthorized TV? I've been working and trying to catch up on the news. We are not interested in, you want to be YouTubers. Okay? What the whole point of unauthorized is that you're someone who has built something up, and for whatever reason, the platforms have decided that you are inappropriate for them, and they've tried to deplatform you. You know, I mean, this is the same thing that I deal with as a book editor on a regular basis. People say, I have an idea for a book. Can I write a couple chapters and send it to you? No, you can't. In fact, even if you complete a book, I don't want to see it because you're not ready for prime time. The fact that you want to do something is great. The fact that you want to start building something is great. But you're not going to use us to get a leg up. You know why? Because people who do that invariably fail to appreciate the amount of hard work that's involved. And so what they do is they assume that it's all because they're so wonderfully talented, and then they go off on their own. So you help build them up, and then as soon as they get to the point where they're actually pulling their weight, they tend to go off on their own. And so, we've learned that. We've seen that. Roland Tango says, here is some dollars for your new project. No need to read this one out loud. Sorry, I just started reading it. Love you all. Thanks very much. Will there be makeup tutorials on Unauthorized? That's not the worst idea in the world, but we're more likely to have like a cooking show or something like that. We're already talking to a woman who has a really good cooking blog and wants to do a cookbook with Castalia House. Thanks for not banning me. You're welcome. Reluctant Messiah is correct. Unauthorized, like Social Galactic, is all about a curated experience. It's not meant to be a free-for-all. That's correct. Can I upload funny videos of my cat on Unauthorized TV? Yes, of course. There's nothing we want more than to share more cat videos with people. I dig the wine stream. Don't we all? It's kind of funny. I was talking to the woman from Barcelona Life. And she said that her favorite part of the wine stream video was the fact that I couldn't get the top off. So that was mildly embarrassing, but c'est la vie. Will videos about controversial and delete attacked conspiracy subjects be allowed? Depends on whose channel it is. I can pretty much guarantee you that we're not going to get turd flinging monkey, whatever that might be. What is the true version of the Bible? Don't worry about it. Get the NIV, get the King James, even get the Living Bible. And any of them are good. Just don't, the only one to avoid is the Schofield. Sapphirus asked JBP about modern day MK Ultra practices, and he ended the Q&A. I'm not even a little bit surprised. That's not a question he's going to want to answer. Chad Thunder Kokovich says, people can't believe you're not actively supporting degeneracy on your platforms. Yeah, we're not. Will Unauthorized be limited to the English language? No, in fact, we're already talking to a guy who does videos in both English and French, and I actually told him I would encourage him to do the French videos. Need a beer stream? What do you think Owen's doing? Let's see. Will you host Jordan Peterson his own channel? I'm pretty sure, Owen, that Jordan Peterson doesn't want anything to do with us. I mean, he's the one who provided the name The Reprehensibles in the first place, you may recall. Let's see here. Slavic Striz says, Vox, I joined Unauthorized, so can you show me your interest rates? Thanks for the good work. Thanks for supporting it. That's awesome. I mean, Ursus Odios says, do you expect Voxiversities to be more frequent when Unauthorized takes off? No, I expect it to be more frequent because I have a new producer who is less busy to his gills. And so we're planning on putting out at least 3 a month. The new one is going to probably come out, we'll probably put on the Unauthorized first, and then we'll get it up on the Voxiversity channel. And then we'll do a Darkstream about it. Unfortunately, he had to do more work this time because I filmed it the same day I did the alpha one, but somehow I managed to screw up my autofocus, and so all of the video of me talking was totally useless. And we had the audio track, but the video was useless, and so he had to put more material, more clips in than he normally does, and so that's what delayed it a little bit. How about a short biography clip on each of the video contributors on Unauthorized? That's a good idea. We should do that, just so people have some idea. On a scale of 1 to Vox Day, how busy is the producer? Probably a 9. Will Unauthorized ever accept Bitcoin? I don't know. I can raise that. Vox, are you in love with your own intelligence? No. Let's see. The gammas are ruining autofocus, clearly. Could not get Unauthorized TV to take any of my cards, but ultimately PayPal worked. Yeah, I'm glad that we turned PayPal on. I wasn't really inclined to do it. PayPal's more expensive. And of course, we've never had any actual problem with them, but of course you just never know. But it's good to have a backup there in case the credit cards don't work. Hey Vox, Zionist Christians scare the shit out of me. I think they will lead to the white nations of America being wiped out. What are your thoughts? No, I don't. I mean, I think their failure to understand their own theology is annoying, but I don't think that consequence that you're worried about is the result of them. Brazilian Bear, all my professors are saying that grit is a better indication of success than IQ. I'm highly doubting it since it's coming from them. What do you think? How do you measure grit? I mean, I don't think that that's a reasonable comparison. You're measuring a unquantified concept with a quantified one. How much grit is the equivalent of 130 IQ? I mean, there's a point, yes, unapplied intelligence doesn't do much. But, and also, how do you define success? One of the problems I have with Taleb's take on intelligence, or IQ specifically, is that he defines success solely in monetary terms. But if you're smart enough, you often know that there are more important things than money. I don't make that much money. I've never made that much money, except for a few years in my late 20s when I was in the video game industry and selling 6 million units of our game. But I realized that what really rich, successful people do is go and live a quiet life away from the city. So I thought, why don't we just skip the whole rat race thing and live like that in the first place? My wife is very cool. She's very chill. She agreed. And so we've lived, got rid of the Porsches and got rid of the Jaguars and got rid of the beach houses and, live a quiet and unassuming life in wine country. You know, we don't have nice cars. I haven't bought a new suit in 12 years, something like that. But we live a wonderful life. Does that make, you know, by Taleb's standard, that would make me a failure? I disagree. You know, I've had the opportunity to actually be there and help my children grow up, watch my children grow up, be there the entire time. So, will SJWs be more or less powerful in the West in 5 years? Less. They're probably close to their peak. What was the book about the Byzantine history that got banned again? That was the Sink the Ships video that was my reading of The Byzantine Empire by Sir Charles Oman. Great book. You are talking from a Sigma standpoint, I think, Vox. Well, what other standpoint can I talk about? You know, I was thinking about that earlier today. You know, people are saying, you're just talking about yourself. You're trying to justify yourself when you're talking about Sigma. And what I realize is that's not true. Because one of my best friends in university is more of a Sigma than I've ever been. Massively attractive to women. Ridiculously so. In fact, there were actually 2 other Sigmas, one a year ahead of me and one 2 years ahead of me, that were at my university with me. And you know, here's a very Sigma thing to do. I'm sitting there with my friend. We're having lunch together. As usual, it's just the 2 of us because neither of us belong to fraternities or anything like that. And we were sitting there, and he says, "Let's go abroad next year." I said, "Okay, where do you want to go?" He said, "Well, you're taking Japanese." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Let's go to Japan." I'm like, "You don't speak any Japanese." He's like, "No, but you do, and I'll take a semester before I go or something." The best part was we had arranged to get him elected senior class president already. So he's the senior class president, despite the fact that he hangs out with pretty much no one besides me, and then blows it off and goes to Japan. You know, legend. It was so funny, you know, but, and then after college, disappeared. I haven't heard from him. I haven't seen him. I mean, this is somebody that I used to hang out with every single day. Somebody I went to Japan with for 6 months and just vanished. I still have no idea where he is. Wouldn't shock me if it turned out that he was like some high-level CIA guy or something, because I do know that he had an interview with the CIA. Yeah. But anyhow, fascinating guy, really interesting guy, really great guy to hang out with. But it makes me laugh when people are saying, "Oh, you're just talking about yourself when you're talking about Sigma." It's like, I'm really not. I mean, yes, I am to a certain extent, but it's not just me. Thanks, Vox. RBS says, "Thanks, Vox. With you as the tech advisor, Owen can keep using Wi-Fi. Seriously. Thanks. I love BB's streams and now enjoy the Darkstream as well." Well, I am delighted to hear that. I am pleased that, I'm really happy that the Bears have, adopted me as it were. And I'm very pleased that you've been so strongly, supporting him when he's come under fire. Daniel Pereira, that's kind of funny. Vox 2016. "I hate being on video. Fox 2019. I'm starting a TV channel with Owen Benjamin. I don't know how I keep getting dragged into this stuff. I mean, if you had told me that I was going to be, founding a stream, a video channel and writing comic books, I would have told you that you're smoking crack. I mean, I would have said there is absolutely no way. And here we are. Do you still speak fluent Japanese? No, I've never spoken fluent Japanese. I was well conversational when I left Japan, but I was 20 years old at the time. That was literally 30 years ago. I speak a bare smattering of it now. Caleb Bonnie says, "Hey Vox, what's your opinion about universally preferable behavior? I think it is light Kantian nonsense. Does it make a good argument for objective ethics without a God? No, it does not. It's no more functional than utilitarianism." 007 Bear says, "Vox, that was such a good point you made about being a part of your family and being able to guide them through ups and downs. It is so important to have spiritual wealth." I just wouldn't trade it for anything. Not for anything. I was actually talking to my wife about this the other day, and we were talking about some of the travails and struggles and challenges of the past 10 years or so. And, at no point in time did either one of us think it wasn't worth it. And I think that that's very satisfying, to know that you can go through difficult times and still be confident that it was the right way to go about it. Did you create the hierarchy? No, I would say that I extended the existing hierarchy of the pickup artists. They created the whole alpha, beta, sexual hierarchy, and I expanded it into the social realm. Is Ron Paul a Sigma? No. Vox, your friend is Q. That would be so astonishingly hilarious. What makes someone a Sigma? Well, the most important thing is being outside the social hierarchy. The second most important thing is that you tend to be very successful with women. It's somewhat of a strange position to be in, because the way that women are wired, you usually do much better with them when you're of high status in the social hierarchy. Vox, how much is the college degree worth in the modern world? Totally depends on the college degree. Why do you live in Italy? If you'd ever been here, you would know. But I prefer my societies pre-collapsed. Prior YouTube super chat from Baddish Bear. Did I miss one? Oh, Brazilian Bear says, what were the homeschool books that you were suggesting? The Collier Junior Classics, pre-1960. Vox, are you in love with your own spirit? Deep think. No, I mean, this may sound a little strange given how arrogant I am, but I'm usually a lot less interested in myself than just about everybody else seems to be. I'm interested in ideas, not people. Jamie the Big Riggin Bear says, will we be able to give gift subscriptions to Unauthorized? Yes, I think it may even be possible. I need to dig into it, but I believe that will be. I believe that will be. I believe it may already be doable. Would you sell advertising spots on unauthorized TV? I don't know even how we would. How many members are there now? Well, let me check. Okay, so there are 2,080 people who have signed up, and there are 1,526 active subscribers. So if y'all want to get motivated, we should be able to hit 1550 by the end of this stream. 20 minutes, we can do it. Let's see here. Grit is basically polenta. I find that amusing. Gummer Bear says, just signed up for the basic subscription. I really liked Grow or Die and can't wait to tear into Throne of Bones. That was such a nice thing you did for Owen. Thanks, but it was the right thing to do. I mean, you know, I mean, and I think we're going to do that for the other channels as well, so that people who want to focus their support on those people can know that that's where the support's going. I don't want people to feel that they can't support somebody that they like a lot because they don't like me, or that sort of thing. If you don't like me, fine. Don't sign up to support the channel. Support Owen. Support David. You know, we're going to get one set up for David the Good soon too. You know, it's. I've always been very focused on win-win situations, and you know, almost all 95% of the Castelia House deals are just 50-50. Author wins, publisher wins. Now, 50-50 wouldn't make sense here because the whole point is to primarily benefit the channel creator. You know, if people want to support all the stuff, they can pick up an annual subscription, they can pick up a basic or a premium subscription. But if they want to support the content creator, we want to make sure that there's a way to do that. And so I think that's why I don't think it was, you know, a nice thing to do. I think it was the correct thing to do, and not just for Owen. Some people have asked me about why don't I have something like that set up, and the reason's pretty simple. I do have something like that set up, but it predates this, and we actually haven't publicized it. But there are a number of people who back the Darkstream and back Voxiversity, some quite heavily. We'll eventually get that, allow people to sign up for those things again. But in the meantime, I would rather have people supporting the channel and so forth, because right now that's where the action is. Sadly, my name is private, says Vox. You're one of the few influences that keeps me from being demoralized. Good, I'm glad. You shouldn't be demoralized. I know it's difficult sometimes, but you know, there's always hope. I'm a truck driver, but have the IQ to do something more advanced. Career paths you would recommend for a 23-year-old white man? You know, if you've got the IQ to do something advanced, look at what you know. I'll give you an example. I knew a guy who was on a fishing boat, of all things. Smart guy. He was actually the roommate of my childhood best friend who went to the same university. I actually played a little bit of rugby with this guy. And it was interesting because he was very smart, but he was a philosophy major, and he was a genuine philosophy major. He was very philosophical, very kind of detached from everything going on. Big guy too, like not tall but strong, thick, and also just a walking center of entropy. It's amazing. Anyhow, I'm going to tell a story about him too in a second. He's really funny. But so he goes out, and he just graduated, and he got caught up in the LA riots somehow, and ended up defending a guy, essentially basically intersposing between himself and a guy who was getting beat up, but taking the beating because he was philosophically opposed to doing violence, despite the fact that he was a strong guy with some martial arts training. And so he'd actually hitchhiked his way across the country, but he decided that he had earned enough karma to use his family's credit card and go to a really nice place. So that he took the homeless guy who'd been getting beaten up and went and like got a couple rooms in a really nice hotel just so they could take a shower and whatever. He said that the people at the hotel didn't want to give him a room, and they were shocked when he pulled out a credit card that actually worked. Anyhow, he went up to Alaska and signed up for a fishing boat. Within 2 years, he was made the assistant captain, and he came up with an idea from his experience on the fishing boat. He came up with an idea and wrote a software package, and ended up becoming a vendor of fishing software packages, just because he saw the opportunity and he knew the industry. And so what I would encourage you to do is, rather than say, oh, I should go to school for X, that's the way, that's the pedestrian way to do it. Look at what you do, look at what you know, and then look for the opportunities. That's how you will find success that's compatible with your interests. I realize it sounds a little bit generalist, but I don't know you. And so that's the only kind of answer I can give you. Freedom Reward says, your spirit is powerful. You have carried the torch. Own that shit. Breathe fire, brother, if it's in your lungs. Very Dragon-esque. Brian Mustard said, thank you for charging ahead with Unauthorized. Any thoughts, plans on having John Irvin form Logos Media on Unauthorized? I don't know who John Irvin is, and I'm not familiar with Logos Media, so I have no thoughts or plans on it. What is the process for selecting reprehensible content creators? We don't have any formal process. I mean, they need to come and talk to me. If someone's interested, then they should come and talk to me. What do I think of the libertarian non-aggression principle? I think that it's a romantic philosophical nonsense. I'm sympathetic to it, but it's got the same problems that the idea of consent-based society does. Timberly says, I greatly appreciate your influence, Vox, and find myself being drawn towards Christianity because of you. Oh, the irony. Is being a pro poker player a sin and thus incompatible with the Christian lifestyle? No, being a pro poker player is not a sin. I mean, being a pro poker player is almost the opposite of gambling. And I'm dubious about gambling being an intrinsic sin. I think gambling is more like drinking alcohol. It's fine in moderation, but it's dangerous for some. I don't see any problem with that. I mean, it's just a game. Libertarians talk about starting their own island. how would that end up? It would probably sink. Libertarians talk about a lot of things. That's pretty much what they do. Should we aggress on wicked people before they aggress on us? God says to. The fact that Vox doesn't know Jan Irvin is very telling. Okay. He lives in his own reality tunnel. What part of Sigma do you not understand? E. Michael Jones would be the most amazing addition and would fit the mold. I think he has boomer tech issues. Maybe he would. I mean, certainly a lot of people speak very well of him. I'd be certainly willing to take a look. Any plans of getting Ivan Throne's periscopes on Unauthorized? We already publish Ivan, so Nicholas, I've heard very good things about Nicholas Fuentes as well, so you got to keep in mind, I mean, I appreciate the enthusiasm. I appreciate the ideas about new channels and stuff. Right now, I'm just trying to make sure everything works. There's a time and place for everything, and right now I'm just trying to make sure that everything's functional, that we are getting people to subscribe and use it, and move forward on that basis. And so we'll bring more people on. Let's see. Any ideas of Pogo? I don't know Pogo. Yeah, you need to keep in mind that I read a lot of books. I don't watch any cable news. I don't pay much attention to. I'm not on Twitter. I was banned from Twitter before being banned from Twitter was cool. The people that I know, people like Milo and Mike, I mean, these are people that I know personally. I don't just know them through the internet or something. Schmax95 says, on gambling being a sin, as with many things, it depends on the heart behind it. Actually, I just realized I need to grab a couple screenshots here so we can show them to. Okay. Bourbon Bear says, thanks for doing what you do and being the most lovable Dark Lord there is. I like to describe myself as the kinder, gentler Dark Lord. The sensitive New Age Dark Lord. Lucius Quinctius Cincinnatus said, thoughts on someone like Jared Taylor? Not particularly interested in Jared Taylor. Just because, he seems to, again, we're not looking for people who have a tendency to make themselves lightning rods. That's not what we want. Would you say Jared Kushner is a gamma? No. What kind of music did you listen to growing up? I listened to a lot of classical music. A moderate amount of like Beatles and stuff. My mother had like 2 Beatles albums. 2 Beatles and 1 Beach Boys. And then when I was able to choose my own music, the first 2 albums that I bought were AC/DC Back in Black and Missing Persons Spring Session M, which is probably why I like baby metal. Irish Writer Bear says, for the right host, would you be interested in the future in a children's educational show? Possibly. I mean, that's just not my thing at all. So, no, I do not read Japanese manga at all. John Birch says Jared Taylor isn't radical. No, I understand Jared Taylor isn't radical, but there. What's the best way to put it? There are people who seem to have a total inability to get out of their own way, and seem to have the ability to cause trouble wherever they go. I'm not saying that's necessarily true of anybody. I'm saying it appears that way from the outside and the distance, not looking closely into it. I understand that people say, "Oh, this is you should do this, you should do that." Well, it's like we have enough challenges as it is without looking for new ones. There's a lot of other things going on besides this. We weren't even supposed to launch Unauthorized yet, but we had a reason to do so, and we happened to be far enough along that we just went ahead and did it. But there's a lot of other things going on with Infogalactic, with Social Galactic, with Alt Hero, with Arkhaven, and so forth. And so we don't want to borrow any more trouble than is necessary. You shouldn't be looking for us to fix other people's problems. What are your thoughts on South Park? I've never seen it. I don't know. I don't think it's based on the advertisements that I've seen, I cannot imagine that it is a valuable source of information for anyone. I didn't know there was a new Sopranos. Hang on. Drat. Wrong thing. Hang on. There we go. I have to explain super chats to the folks we're working with, so I'm just grabbing a few screenshots here as we go. Richard Elliott said, "Just read about you, and I've turned 180 on what I felt beforehand." That happens from time to time. Sorry for my ignorance. Ego te absolvo. Much love then and impressive work. Love books and Christ. Honestly, don't worry about it. I'm not a charming, particularly likable guy. I'm arrogant. I don't suffer fools gladly. And some of the stuff, because I'm focused on the macro rather than the micro, a lot of the stuff that I say sounds incredibly cruel. But, so it doesn't surprise me that I rub a lot of people the wrong way. It happens. I'm used to it. I don't lose any sleep over it. But I'm glad when people do come around. Just to be clear, that describes pretty much my wife's entire social circle initially. Falcatus Greek says, "Have €5. Thank you." Bear Goldsmithing said, "David Byrne red-pilled me with the movie True Stories." Okay. I suppose that can happen. Dr. Jeep says, "Sigmas are brutally honest about themselves." Well, somebody's got to be. Yeah. Jilly Bear Lawson, I think that's a fair statement. She says, "You're an acquired taste for some." Triggerfinger, I am happy to verify that this super chat works. Thank you. Any thoughts on the accelerationist movement? I think it's unnecessary. The trend is there. Congratulations, Saber. My wife and I are about to welcome our first child into the world. What are any early learning resources you recommend? The Bob books. Definitely the Bob books. Some people are hating on Paul Joseph Watson's latest video. I have no idea why. Please give us a story of a time you rubbed one of your wife's circle wrong. There's no stories. Just like literally, they didn't like me. They thought I was, arrogant and full of myself, and all the usual stuff that people who don't like me always say. I think I may be a Sigma. Where to go from here? No, you're not. We'll address that. Don't worry. When we get to Sigma. Anyhow, so I definitely recommend the Bob books for little kids when they're ready to start reading. I don't really have any recommendations other than make sure that you give your wife every opportunity to sleep that you can. Just take the late feeding if they're on a bottle. And get as much sleep as you can too, because the first month with the first child is really, really difficult. And the fact that you're both sleep deprived and is going to make you irritable and is going to make her crazy. And so just sleep as much as you can, and whenever you can, take the baby and say, go get some sleep. So anyhow, let's see here. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad I actually made it an hour. I didn't think I was going to. But I appreciate your support. Thanks for all of you who have subscribed to Unauthorized TV. And we will look forward to seeing you the next time. This is the Darkstream. I'm Vox Day.